Before we get started, I wanted to give you a little background on how the craft this week came about. I'm going to start off by showing you this kind of dated video from an animated film made in 2009. It opens up with Moses just receiving word from Pharaoh that the people of Egypt, the Hebrew people, may leave. Take a look.
God has blessed you, my brother.
God has blessed us all. Remember this day. This day, the hand of the Lord broke the chains of slavery. What?
I'm glad I guarded your basket. You cried your head off that night.
If it wasn't for you, perhaps God wouldn't have chosen me.
That's what big sisters are for. God works through us, too.
God works through big sisters. In our first lesson on Moses, we talked about the importance of women in his life. And that led us to look into Miriam a little more, the big sister who pulled Moses out of the Nile River. That brought us to find this awesome book, A Brave Big Sister, a Bible story about Miriam. It's written by Rachel Spear Weaver and Anna Haggard, and it has gorgeous illustrations by Eric Elwell. I'm not going to read the whole book to you, but I wanted to show you some of the beautiful illustrations, and the idea for our craft came from this. Enjoy. When Miriam and Moses grew up, God chose them and their brother Aaron to lead the Hebrew people out of slavery. God equipped Miriam with a beautiful voice to sing and to speak up for her people as a prophet. And God asked Moses to lead the people from Egypt away from Pharaoh. With God's guidance, Miriam, Moses, and the other Israelites fled Egypt all the way to the Red Sea. But while they were on their way, Pharaoh changed his mind. From his throne, Pharaoh shouted, "What have I done? I have lost all of my slaves. Who will build my palaces? Who will harvest my fields? Who will take care of my horses?" So he ordered his military officers to ready his great army of chariots. "We will return the Hebrew slaves to Egypt," Pharaoh said as he led his fierce army through the desert in pursuit of the Israelites. That evening, Miriam looked across the path the Israelites had followed. She saw the approaching army. "Moses, it's Pharaoh!" she cried. Before her were the crystal blue waters of the Red Sea. Behind her was Pharaoh leading his mighty army of chariots. "We are trapped." Miriam prayed, God, you saved Moses from Pharaoh when he was a little baby. You can do anything. Please rescue us from Pharaoh again. God said, Moses, raise your staff over the sea. Moses raised his shepherd's staff before the sea. A strong wind blew toward the sea, making a path between the waters. Miriam, Moses, and all the Israelites walked between two walls of water. The wind roared as it held the water in place. The air smelled like salt and fish. Under her feet, Miriam felt dry sand. After hours of walking, Miriam and all the Israelites stepped from the Red Sea into the desert. Moses lifted his staff over the water. The walls of water crashed together, covering the path of the Israelites. God had protected the Israelites, and Pharaoh's army had been swallowed by the sea. In awe, everyone was silent. Then Miriam took her brother Moses by the arm. All the people began to sing, worshiping God for his great miracle. Then Miriam took her tambourine. Come, she shouted to all the women and girls, let's dance to celebrate. Beating the rhythm with her tambourine, Miriam began to dance. Her tambourine sounded, ring, jingle, jangle, ring. Following Miriam's lead, hundreds of thousands of girls and women began to play their tambourines together. Quietly at first, ring, jingle, jangle, cha-cha-cha-cha, ring. And then louder and faster, ring, jingle, jangle, cha-cha-cha, ring. The girls and women danced with Miriam. The desert echoed with music. That's why today we will be making a tambourine.
Hi, I'm Miss Kris with Bible Basics, and today we are making our fourth craft for our series on Moses. And we're going to be making a tambourine, which is going to be in representation of Miriam's song after they crossed over the Red Sea. Hi kids, this is what our end project is going to look like. It's a tambourine, and it's got all these nice little bells on it and yarn, and let's see what we've got in our bag over here to do this with. We've got cardboard and we've got bells, and don't forget, a couple of weeks ago you got a whole 2 things of yarn, so you can either get the gray or the aquamarine out and start working on your tambourine. Okay, so first you're going to take quite a bit of yarn off of the roll of yarn and cut it. Make sure you're real careful with this because you don't want to cut yourself. And put your yarn over here. And you're going to have to do this a few times because if you try to put the whole thing of yarn on there, I tried it that way, it didn't work real well. So I'm going to wrap it around here just a little bit. And I'm going to use a little bit of tape so that way it'll kind of stay in place to begin with. And the more you wrap around there, the easier it'll get. You just wrap it. And make sure that another thing that I did when I was working on mine to begin with was I got it all knotted, and so then I had to sit there and unknot it, and I don't think your parents want to sit there and unknot your yarn. That's not really fun. Okay, so I am going to do a little bit more of this and I'll be right back. So we've gotten the yarn wrapped around the outside. We're almost done with that little piece, so we're gonna just tie on. I've cut another little piece over here, so we're just gonna tie on that. Might want to get your parents to help you a little bit with this part. It's kind of the same as tying your shoe, but I don't know if you kids are doing that yet or not. It's been so long since we've seen you. I miss you so much. Okay, so now we've got it tied on there. And we are going to start wrapping it again. So what we do is we wrap it, and then we cut another little piece, and this is just so that way our yarn doesn't get all knotted up. And then we cut another little piece and we tie it on and we wrap it. And give me a few minutes and I will have my tambourine covered up here. Okay, so now we have our tambourine wrapped and we're gonna start putting our bells on. So you're gonna I went ahead and put the yarn on your bell so that way it'd be easier because it's a little bitty thing that you have to try to feed it through, and that's too difficult. So what you're gonna do is you're going to, and I tape the ends together here so that way it wouldn't get all knotted up. So you're just gonna take and cut the end off of there, and then you're going to tie your bell on and try to get it halfway even because that's going to be your tassel too. So just wrap it in there, kind of like you're tying your shoe. Okay, there we go. Okay, and so there is our first bell. Oops. Okay, there we go. There is our first bell on there, and so we're going to continue to tie our bells on. And give me just a second, and we'll have all of our bells tied on, and you can see the finale. So now we've got all of our bells on there, and you can either do it, I've seen tambourines look both ways. You can either do it where it's all the way around the edge. Make sure you leave a place for your hand right here somewhere. Or you can do it like this, where you've got more places for your hand. It just depends on however you want to do it. So either way, I hope you have a wonderful time doing this, and think about Miriam's song while you're doing it.